Hey, what up writers? I'm Violet, an aspiring YA author. Welcome back to the 12 Days of Writing. As you can see by the title, I'm doing a part 2 to my following Tik Tok Writing Advice video. So if you haven't seen the first one, go check that one out before, I guess. it doesn't really matter. But when I originally did it, I saved several different advice videos. So I haven't looked up new ones because I'm scared to go on TikTok because it will just like consume hours of my life. So I'm kind of avoiding this app. I'm not sure which project I'm going to be working on today to follow this advice. I can't remember what the advice was since it's been a while since I saved these on my phone. But that's what we're doing today. So let's hop into the first video.
Alright, this is for you writers out there. So you may know that exposition is bad if it's obvious and it's plain. So let me give you some tips on how you can kind of make it a little more interesting. Think of the rule of 3. So 3 is kind of a magic number used in most all writing, where just 3 is a great number of things to use. So basically think of exposition in 3 reveals. And so the first reveal is you're just going to mention the thing as if the characters in the world already know it, which they should, and the reader or viewer at home is just going to have to catch up. They're going to be confused. They're going to be out of the loop. Second time, you give a little more context, a little more details in the conversation. This is going to help them kind of piece clues together, and people like to solve mysteries. So the third time that you do it, then you just spill the beans completely. Tell them exactly what's up, and it'll seem less expository because they've waited for it and earned it, so to speak. Try it out.
That was about the rule of 3 and sort of sprinkling in exposition and not doing sort of an info dump. I like that information, so I will probably use that today writing in my epic fantasy story, Wagaka, because it's an epic fantasy. There's lots of world building. I have an idea of what scene I could write today with that. So I think I will do that. And it's hard in an epic fantasy not to sort of info dump when there's all these really weird, quirky things about the world. So that's going to be the first one, and I think the second one is, here we go.
Hey everyone, so I would like to tell you a secret rule about how to write secondary characters. I call it the rule of 3. So if you give a person 3 qualities, they are instantly going to become memorable. Let's do it. Ready? She had curly hair, a lopsided smile, and a determined air about her. Boom. Just like that, you have a secondary character, and you have physical and mental qualities that you can ascribe to her that are going to make her memorable. So remember, it only takes 3 things to build a character, and from then you might end up with someone who's going to expand, become more than you intended, and become a valuable addition to whatever story it is that you're writing. Good luck.
Okay, so that was also the rule of 3. So I guess this is going to be TikTok video rule of 3 following today. But this one was about adding traits to secondary characters, which will also work for the scene that I wanted to write today, because there is a secondary character in there to sort of ground my characters before. So I'm writing my alpha smart side character today, and he has a friend in that scene who is like, you know, the side character of the secondary POV character. So he would definitely fall into that. I have nothing really written about his description or attitude at all. So I can definitely use this advice in my scene that I want to write today anyway. So this actually worked out perfectly and very parallel with these rule of 3s. So I have a few different things to remember, and let's just hop into writing out the scene. Through filming these videos, I kind of started to learn something about my own writing style. I always call myself a pantser, but what I've been really doing lately is before I write a scene, do like mini info dumps. Something about the character or something about the world or something that I want to accomplish in the scene. Like, there's really not a lot written on this piece of paper, but this is something now that's been part of my new writing method, and I think it's kind of cool. So instead of having an outline, I just do like a tiny little thing every time. So I actually know what I want to explain for the exposition. I think the problem is in the scene I have open already, I have already info dumped that information, so I might have to be deleting it, or I don't know. It's kind of hard on the Alpha Smart to go back and delete something, so I'll just maybe put in brackets, this is the new scene. So we're going to try that again. And about the secondary character in that scene, I want to give him 3 qualities, physical and mental. I want to really think hard about the exact things I want to put in there. Because obviously I could just ramble off 3 qualities to give this character, but I really wanted to say something about my POV character. I wanted to say something about who his friend is, who the people he chooses to be around, and maybe something about their differences, something that's gonna reveal about my character, you know? It's not about making, yeah, okay, I want my side character, the side character to be quirky and memorable, but I want it to expand about who my POV character is, because that's who's important actually. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna maybe write down more than 3 qualities and see what sticks. I came up with a list of actually way more than 3 things for this side character. And I want some of them to have him be the opposite of my character, to sort of highlight my character, and some to, I kind of want him to be the everyman, because the character I'm writing today is my lower class character in this world, and he has to sort of represent this whole class system. So he needs to a little bit be the everyman in that way and show how my character is different, but I have to also remember to keep my character quite flawed, because I think in the scenes I wrote of him already, he comes off as too much of a nice guy. And I know what I want his character arc to be, so he can't be so nice. And I also realized that with the physical description of this character, I can do a little bit of world building as well, because Wagaka revolves around reincarnation. That's the whole thing. They live in life cycles. They don't live and die like regular people. When you live in a society, when you can't die, how does that affect you? So I was really thinking about the couple things that I was thinking about were, if you've read Scythe by Neil Shusterman, how he handles that, of them like splatting and healing and spending time in the healing center. I thought about going that route, but I'm not doing that. So I've sort of solved that thing, but one thing I haven't really mentioned yet is like physical injury and how that gets dealt with. So I think that would be a very interesting thing to do with this character. So that's what I put on one of his physical descriptions, was he should have like scrapes and scars to show that if you get hurt, that stays with you in your body. It doesn't heal. Just because you can't die doesn't mean your body and your form is perfect. So I wanted to show that, and also showing his that he's very shameless. I want this side character to be shameless, to show that my point of view character has a lot of shame. So I need to sort of, that would be great as an opposite, and then also to show some of the similarities they have with sort of being sort of selfish and looking out for number one, and this sort of dog-eat-dog world of the lower class system. So that's kind of what I've come up with now, and I'm gonna get into writing. I just wanted to sort of explain that a little bit. And the reincarnation also has to do with the sort of exposition I'm doing today to explain part of the system, how the life cycles work. So I explained part of it in my other point of view characters chapter. So now we've entered this chapter knowing how that works, but seeing it through the different belief system and the different class systems point of view. But now I'm gonna explain the other part of it through his point of view. Does that make sense? I hope so. I would just share the names of the characters, but this early on in the stage, the names could change. So that's why. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this story, if I'm gonna stick with this or what. But that's the plan for right now. I have to say, the scene I wrote ended up being really good, and I'm really happy with it. I actually ended up writing down more like 5 physical and mental traits for my side character, and funny enough, they were all sort of S alliterations. I think I wrote short and scrappy, selfish, shameless, and scarred. So they all started with S. But like how the guy in the TikTok sort of said, like, oh, she was curly haired with something whatever. Obviously when I'm writing, I'm not writing it like that. Like, his face was scarred, he was selfish. Like, you're just putting it through his actions, you know? And also I didn't say like he's short, I say like, oh, when he stood up, he only came to the other character's shoulder, or you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get a few things into the world building and saying something about my character and this, everything. Oh, I'm really happy with the new scene. It's so much better. And now actually I have a good vision of this character. I think that's really important for my writing process, is to understand the character, who they are, and they'll start moving the plot forward themselves. This scene I wrote today, I'm really, really happy with. Also with sort of it helped me work something out in the bigger story, thinking about the exposition that I had already introduced the one thing in the other POV chapter, and now I'm sort of slowly building the reader up to the next step of explanation of the world. It worked out really well. And I like that. I really like that exposition trick of just don't explain it, sprinkle in a little detail, and then just full out say it. I think that's great. I mean, I think the rule of 3, there is something there. So TikTok was actually good with this one, but will I be going to TikTok for writing advice in the future? No, because it's pretty much of a time waste, and I actually had to dig quite a while to find even these tips. So I don't think it's somewhere I will be going for writing advice in the future, maybe for entertainment, but that's about it. But this was fun, and I think it can be kind of fun to look for prompts and things like that in different places and take in specific advice before sitting down to write, because it helped me a lot in this situation. So I have a much better plan going forward with not only that character and that scene, but the whole story. It helped move a piece for me in my mind, and I'm really happy with that. So thank you for watching today's video, and I will be back again tomorrow with another day of writing. So see you then, bye!